All right, well, welcome back to an extra segment, and I've got a special guest here today. We've got Sebastian, the destroyer of cameras here, this little man. He said he felt really bad about breaking my camera, though, and, aw, this boy. he's got, uh, he's got some winter weight that he needs to lose, so we have to go on more walks. But, anyways, welcome back to extra segment after the season finale of the Great Owl Search. So thanks for tuning into that. And yeah, I just wanted to jump in here and do a little extra segment. We'll kind of recap the whole experience, all the episodes, and kind of just wanted to go over what some of my favorite moments were, and yeah, some of my favorite photos I've kind of picked out here. And yeah, we'll talk about the new camera. Well, the new to me new camera and what I ended up going with, and yeah, we'll get into that. Let me put him back down here. I know you don't like this at all. You don't. It's a very it's a very interesting, breed. He's an Alaskan Klekai, which actually is a real breed, and you can look it up. And his personality is more like a cat, where like he's very independent, and he's not a big like lap dog or anything like that, except when he chooses to be. He will let you know when he's ready for pets and snuggles and jumping up on the couch and sitting on your lap. Most of the time, though, he's he's very independent, and it's just a trait of the breed. But yeah. So let's talk about the A1 first. Sony A1. I did get an update. I got a call over the weekend from the repair place up in Boulder through Mike's camera. And I got good news and I got bad news. The good news is with the A1, with the camera itself, it's just the LCD screen. The camera itself is fine. So that is a pretty easy repair. They have ordered a new LCD screen. They're going to put it in, and then they're going to ship the camera back to Mike. So I go pick it up. I should have my camera back within like a week or two. So that's great. The bad news comes on the lens. So if you saw my video from last weekend, you saw the adapter part that connects to the camera broke off, and they have said that they are going to have to send that off to Sony directly. So he was like, yeah, I can't. I just don't have the right parts or the right tools to fix this. So that is going off to Sony. And no estimate yet on the cost of that. The LCD screen isn't that bad. It's just going to be a couple $100. I mean, don't get me wrong, not like that's nothing, but considering how much the camera itself costs compared to a couple $100, I can deal with it. So that's the update there. So in the meantime, of course, in the last video, I was like, oh man, what am I going to do? So I went to eBay I was looking between. So here's kind of what I was thinking. This is what I ultimately came to. I was like, okay, I'm going to buy a camera, not just to temporarily use and then resell it. Like, I'm actually going to buy a camera that I'm going to keep. And I was wanting something, obviously Sony, to fit all my lenses that I have, but something that was good at video and that wasn't too expensive. Because one of the things that I had always thought about doing was, right now I shoot stills, I shoot video all through the A1, because the A1 does all those things really well. But sometimes when I'm in the middle of shooting stills and I want to also do video, I was like, oh man, I wish I had a second camera that could do video while I'm actually focusing on stills. So that was not, so sort of my idea was always to get like a second camera that could be more dedicated just for video. That was not really an expense that I was wanting to take on like right now. So I was like, well, things change. So I started my search looking for a Sony camera that's not mega expensive, that can shoot good video, that can take all my lenses. And I was looking at the A7 IV. And that's still a little bit, even used ones aren't that far off brand new. They've held their value really well, and it's still a relatively new camera. So I was not surprised that sort of fell out of my price range. So then I started looking at the A7 III, because that is a couple years old now. And that gets more into my range. And to be honest, I had the A7R III, so I never really looked at the A7 III, so I was kind of doing some research about it to make sure it shoots like pretty good video. And I read an article that was basically like, well, if you're looking for something that's more compact or something that's better for travel, which, you know, I always like that, you may consider the A7C, which is all the A7 III internals, just in a way smaller package. And I was like, interesting. So that is what I went with. I went with the A7C. So yeah, the whole last video was shot with this camera, all in 4K. And I shot it with the good old Tamron 50-400 lens. I have added this tripod foot. It doesn't come with a foot. This is just a little add-on that I found on Amazon. So that whole episode, yeah, was shot with the A7C and the 50-400 millimeter lens. And I think it did great. I think all the footage is great. All the stills I was still able to get, even with only 400 millimeters. I thought the photos I got were great. And yeah, I felt like I didn't really miss a beat. You know, I was like, well, I'm still out here. I'm still getting the shots that I want. I'm still getting the video that I want. And yeah, I mean, not bad for a, I think it's about a 3-year-old camera now, 2-year-old camera. And I found it on eBay at a very good price as an open box item. So it was technically used, but when it showed up, everything was still sealed. The battery was sealed. I mean, it didn't look like anyone had even touched it. So that was what I did. And yeah, it was good. It's done great for me. So now I do have a second camera that if I'm really busy and I'm trying to get good stills and I want to get some video going, I've got a second camera now that I can record that video. And again, like I said, that was an expense I wasn't really wanting to take on right now, but you know, things happen. So I'm fortunate that that's something I can do. So, oh yeah, I forgot about this. So normally I do a little post work when I'm recording this, a little drink. Normally it's like a really good beer, but today it's not. Today it's a truly, I'm watching my figure, you know, can't have all those empty carbs. This is a strawberry lime. Yeah, it's fine. Let's leave it at that. But, cool. So yeah, that's what's going on with the camera, the repair, what I got. And, I thought it would be cool. Let me see if I can set this up here. Let me shrink me. Oh, that's not going to work. All right, let's try this again. Okay, I think I have this set up correctly now. Let's look at some owl search photos, some of my favorites from over these past couple months of going out. Yes. So we will start with the long-eared owls. These guys were out at Cherry Creek Reservoir. I will say that location now because they are long gone. But yeah, in the long-eared owl video I posted, I think the video started with me like frantically driving to Cherry Creek because I was afraid that all the crowds were going to show up and they were going to scare the owls off. About half of that actually happened. The crowds did eventually show up, but this whole brood, there was like 7 or 8 of them out there. They didn't leave despite all the people going out there to photograph them. So, that's good, I guess. But yeah, they were right out there by the the gun range or the target range or whatever. People go shoot pop cans or whatever. Yeah, so it was very weird going out to photograph them and just hearing like gunfire erupting in the background. It's like AKs. I'm just like, okay, this is weird. But it didn't seem to bother the owls. They stayed there for a couple of months. And what I really liked about this day was I kind of got out there before the big crowd showed up. And this morning, it had just snowed. And I was walking through the snow out there. It was actually pretty deep to where these guys first were. They relocated later, but where they first were, nobody else was out there. So I got these guys all to myself that morning with the snow. It was just... man, it was so awesome. It's one of those days where I drove home and I'm just like, did that just happen? did that really just happen? Did I just get a whole morning alone with 8 long-eared owls just sitting there in a tree looking at me? I just couldn't believe it. So that was great. That was one of my favorite parts. Yeah, I think I got another. Oh yeah, they're just looking at me like, "Whoa, how did this guy find us?" Damn you, eBird. But yeah, that was one of my favorite days. I was with the long-eared owls out at Cherry Creek. This was at the beginning of January. It was right into. It was like January 2nd, so it was like right into 2023. And then yeah, here was another one. Yeah, there was. I just couldn't believe there were so many out there, and they were all just. Yeah, they just roosted together, and yeah, it was crazy. I just couldn't believe it. It was great. Another one of my favorite days was was the Screech Owl episode. That was on Super Bowl Sunday, where I decided screw the game. I don't care about either of these teams. It was the Eagles and God, I can't even remember who won. Oh, it was the Chiefs. Yeah, the Chiefs. Yeah, I don't care about either of those teams. So I was like, I'm going to find Screech Owls. And this first one here, this guy is in a very well-known area. Again, I had never gone to before. Just, I don't know if it was just out of sheer laziness or like what, but I was just like, yeah, I know that there's that one Screech Owl in that one tree in Arvada along that one trail. I was like, yeah, I'll go eventually. And super glad that I did, because I think I got some really cool shots. And again, yeah, when you go, I got there, I think this was around this was just after lunchtime. It was around 1 o'clock. So I'm not expecting the owl to be active or anything like that. But yeah, he sits up in this little tree cavity, and yeah, I was up in this tree, and the light was coming in just perfectly. It's kind of lighting him up a little bit. And I just thought these made some really good photos. And I was like, man, I should have been coming here a long time ago. I was like, man, why was I waiting for this? But yeah, this was the Screech Owl day, which of course, oh yeah, here he is again. Yeah, again, the light coming in just was perfect. And the tree is very close to the trail that goes by. It's this little paved path that people are biking, and it's very busy with traffic. Like lots of bikes, lots of people walking their dogs. So yeah, I'm surprised he actually just sits there and like sleeps all day. I just be like, man, there's so many people here. I can't get any sleep. But yeah, doesn't seem to bother him. So that was cool. And then of course, same day, left Arvada and went up to Fort Collins and saw the Screech Owls up there in Lee Martinez Park. Again, I say the location because everybody knows. Definitely no secrets there. Where to find this little red morph Screech Owl, which, yeah, I mean, everyone has gone up there. Any bird photographer, you may not even be a bird photographer, just normal photographers have gone up there and taken this guy's photo. And yeah, I mean, you can see why. It's spectacular. The day I went, I wasn't expecting to see him at all. I was only expecting to see the gray one that's been sleeping up in that little owl-shaped hole. I never thought in a million years the red morph would be out that day, but he was, and just made some great shots. And again, the sort of fading light of the day. This was around 4:30 in the afternoon. This was back in early February, so didn't have a ton of daylight. It got dark pretty early, but the light came through here and just lit him up perfectly. And he just kept sitting on all these little perches and branches. And yeah, that was another one of my favorite days of the owl search. And then, of course, everything you just saw there at the end with the owlets at the nest there in Littleton. Again, another pretty well-known spot, I think. I won't say the location on that one. Just know it's in Littleton somewhere. But they've got that little owl box set up. It's in this little neighborhood park. And the story is that the owls had always been in that park, but they were nesting before they put the box in. They were nesting on people's like porches and patios, and the neighbors would wake up and, go outside for a morning cup of coffee on the patio, and there would be like a dead rabbit's head and like, all the things that owls eat would just be like laying around, and they were just like, man, I love these owls, but I can't have my patio is covered in owl shit and rabbit heads. Like, so, I'm not sure if it was Department of Wildlife or if it was a Jefferson County specific thing, but they came in and they said, well, we can put this little owl box up. And everyone's like, great. We don't want the owls to leave. We just don't want them nesting on our houses. So, and as you know, if you don't know, owls are very opportunistic. So if someone gives them a little owl house, they'll take it. So, and they've been nesting in that box for years and years now. So it's always cool to go there and see the little owlets. There were 3 in the box. I had never seen either of the owls, the mom or the dad, actually jump out of the box and be on that perch right next to the box. So when that happened, I was like, oh, this is great. So the mom was standing there, and you know, she only has one eye. I'm not sure if that's just a battle scar or what happened. I don't know the story behind why she only has one eye. Anytime I've ever seen her over the years, it's been that way. So it's not like a recent thing. But yeah, she jumped out on that perch, and then there was the owlets perfectly there in the background. That was right at sunset, right as light was starting to go down. So that was awesome, really good experience. Because like I said, I've been going to that place for a long time, and I've never seen them land on that perch just right there. So that was really great. And I mean, overall, I've always, you know, like I say, like I want to go find more nests, you know, each year and go see a bunch of different things that I haven't seen before. And this year definitely lived up to that. So, like I said, between the long-eared owls, which I'd never really photographed before, and this guy right here, and just having great success with all the owlets. Yeah, it was great. Just such a fun adventure. And like I said, there's a lot of the videos you see of the successes. What you don't see is all of the days that I go out and don't find anything. So the owls are hard to find. But when you do, they always make great photographs. I think that's why they're so popular. So anyways, that is the end of the segment. So thanks for hanging out and talking about the owl search. I'm going to be really sad this weekend not going out to photograph owls. But yeah, I am out for foxes this weekend. So, and the weather's going to be great. So that is my big goal this weekend, is to try to go find some foxes. But like I mentioned at the end of the video, the episode, burrowing owls are coming back, and that's always been just the worst luck bird for me. So I definitely want to do a big thing with burrowing owls later this spring into the summer. So owls will still be very present on the channel, and I am sure as the owlets get bigger and getting ready to start fledging, then I'm sure I will go check up on some of them. So you can expect to see more owls, I'm sure, very soon. But yeah, that's it for the segment. So thanks for hanging out, and yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. So see ya. Bye.